Right. No, I'm just looking at something. Yeah. What? I'm not the thinker? Oh. I feel like I'm gonna fall over on stage. You're gonna trip on me. You're gonna get up and go like this. Just like, okay.
Good morning and welcome to the 2024 Dr. Elliott School Remembrance Day service. The theme this year is Recognize and Remember. My name is Evie Marston.
And I am Peyton Phillip, and we are your MCs for today's ceremony.
Today is a day that we reflect on the sacrifices made by Canadians so that we can live in a free and democratic society.
We ask that you hold your applause after every performance to respect the silence of the day.
We would now like to call on Mrs. Cameron to give the opening remarks.
The year 2024 marks the 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Air Force. Our theme this year is Recognize and Remember. We need to recognize that the peaceful society we enjoy has been created by the efforts and sacrifices of generations of Canadians who have put their lives on the line in the cause of peace and freedom around the world. We need to remember all that they have done during times of war, military conflict, and peace. This helps us better understand our nation's history and its future. It is important for us to remember the sacrifices made by Canadian soldiers in 2 world wars, the Korean War, and in dozens of other conflicts and peacekeeping missions in every part of the world. We come here to show our gratitude for our freedom, which we owe to those who risked and gave their lives to defend our country. Today is a day to honor the bravery and heroism of those soldiers. It is also a day to remember the losses and the terrible, terrible waste of human life. More than 1.5 million Canadians have served in our armed forces in times of war. More than 120,000 have died in battle. The fact that warfare remains a dominant part of our present reality makes it even more important that we remember together the conflicts of the past and the brave and proud men and women who sacrificed their lives for our freedom. I hope that each and every one of you takes a moment on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month to recognize and remember them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Cameron. We would now like to call up Mrs. Aoki to give the Vice Principal address.
Good morning, students, staff, and valued members of our community, and our esteemed guests, Mayor Robinson and Peace Officer Matthew. As we gather here today to observe Remembrance Day, we take a moment to reflect not only on the sacrifices made, but also on the strength of our community and the spirit of service that unites us all. This day serves as a powerful reminder of the courage and commitment shown by those who have fought for our freedoms. It's essential for us to recognize that their sacrifices extend beyond the battlefield. They inspire us to engage in our own forms of service within our community. In honoring those who have served, we also honor the values they fought to protect: compassion, resilience, and a sense of duty to one another. Each of us has the opportunity to contribute positively to our community, whether through acts of kindness, volunteering, or simply being there for one another in times of need. As we observe a moment of silence shortly, I'd encourage you to reflect on how we can embody the spirit of service in our daily lives. Let us be inspired by those who came before us and commit ourselves to building a more supportive and caring community.
Thank you, Mrs. Aoki. Would everyone please rise for the singing of O Canada? We ask that you remain standing so that we can observe a moment of silence after our national anthem.
Thank you. You may be seated.
We would now like to call up the grade 1, 2, and 4 classes to perform the song, Light a Candle for Peace.
Thank you, grade 1, 2s, and 4s. Could we please have Evelyn Morgan, Mila Stapley, Ann Price, and Molly Bieber from the grade 8 class to recite the infamous poem In Flanders Fields by Canadian officer and surgeon Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae.
In Flanders fields. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row.
That mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below.
We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow,
Loved and were loved, and now we lie
in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe.
To you from failing hands we throw
The torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die,
We shall not sleep though poppies grow
in Flanders fields.
Thank you, grade 8s. We would now like to call up the grade 2 and 3 classes to perform the song, Thank You, a Remembrance Day song.
Thank you very much, grade 2s and 3s. We would like to invite the grade 5 and 6 classes to perform a reader's theater called Unsung Heroes of War.
Good morning, everyone. Today we gather to honor the unsung heroes of World War I and World War II. These heroes made great sacrifices, and their stories deserve to be remembered. Let us start by remembering the brave soldiers who fought on the front line. They show great courage and dedication.
I am a soldier from World War I. I fought in the trenches, facing hostile conditions and constant danger. Many of us did not return home.
We fought for freedom and peace and gave everything we had. Our bravery and sacrifice will be remembered today.
Alongside the soldiers were courageous nurses who provided care and comfort to the wounded.
I am a nurse from World War II. I worked in the hospitals and on the battlefield, tending to the injured and sick.
Each day we faced long hours and challenging conditions, but our mission was clear.
To help and support those in need, our work was crucial in helping many soldiers recover. Behind the scenes, there were countless workers who contributed to the war effort, often working tirelessly in factories and other essential roles.
I am a war worker from World War II. My job was to build equipment and supplies needed for soldiers.
Although I was not on the battlefield, my work ensured that our troops had what they needed to succeed.
Every small task contributed to the largest effort.
The families of the soldiers also played a vital role providing support and enduring great hardship at home.
I am a family member who waited for a loved one to return from war.
We live with worry and uncertainty, holding on to hope and supporting each other.
Our sacrifices and strength to stay hopeful were part of the great effort to win peace.
And let us not forget about the animals who served alongside the soldiers, offering their loyalty and bravery.
I am a horse and I served in the cavalry. Horses like me carried soldiers and supplies across long distances.
We are strong and hardworking, helping our soldiers in many ways.
Our job was tough, but we were proud to serve.
I am a dog, and my job was a messenger. I delivered messages through Danish areas.
I was fast and had a good sense of direction. Sometimes I carried messages through the heat of battle, and I helped the soldiers stay connected.
Meow, I am a cat and I helped by keeping away pests like rats and mice.
On ships and at camp, my job was to protect the supplies and keep the crew company.
These unsung heroes, whether on the battlefield, in hospitals, factories, or at home, all made tremendous sacrifices.
We remember the unsung heroes of World War I and World War II.
Their bravery and sacrifices have shaped our world, and we honor their memory with gratitude and respect.
Thank you for joining us in this remembrance. May we always remember their courage and strive to build a world of peace in their honor.
Thank you very much, grade 5 and 6s. Could we please have the grade 9 class come up to recite the poem, Why Wear a Poppy by Don Crawford?
Why wear a poppy? Please wear a poppy, the lady said, and held one forth, but I shook my head.
Then I stopped and watched as she offered them there, and her face was old and lined with care.
But beneath the scars the years had made, there remained a smile that refused to fade.
A boy came whistling down the street, bouncing along on carefree feet.
His smile was full of joy and fun. Lady, said he, may I have one?
When she pinned it on, he turned to say, Why do we wear a poppy today?
The lady smiled in a wistful way and answered, This is Remembrance Day.
And the poppy there is the symbol for the gallant men who died in war.
And because they did, you and I are free. That's why we wear a poppy, you see.
I had a boy about your size, with golden hair and big blue eyes.
He loved to play and jump and shout. Freeze bird, he'd race about. As the years went by, he learned and grew and became a man, as you will too.
He was fine and strong with a boyish smile, but he'd seemed with us such a little while.
When war broke out and he went away, I still remember his face that day.
When he smiled at me and said goodbye, I'll be back soon, Mom, so please don't cry.
But the war went on, and he had to stay, and all I could do was wait and pray.
His letters told of the awful fight. I can see it still in my dreams at night.
With the tanks and the guns and the cruel barbed wire and the mines and bullets, the bombs and fire.
Till at last, the war was won, and that's why we wear a poppy, son.
The small boy turned as if to go, then said, Thanks, lady, I'm glad to know.
That sure did sound like an awful fight, but your son, did he come back all right?
A tear rolled down each faded cheek. She shook her head, but didn't speak.
I slunk away in a sort of shame, and if you were me, you'd have done the same.
For our thanks in giving, if oft delayed, though our freedom was bought and thousands paid. And so when we see a poppy worn, let us reflect on the burden borne
by those who gave their very all when asked to answer their country's call.
That we at home basement live, then wear a poppy, remember and give.
Thank you very much, grade 9s. We would now like to draw your attention to the big screen to watch the multimedia presentation created by the grade 7 class, Mrs. Cameron and her twin sister Toby Daniels, called Recognize and Remember.
Growing up, I never cared too much for Superman. I guess he never could measure up next to my old man. There's no S on his chest, he's just an old weathered flag. God knows my heroes don't wear capes. They wear dog tags and they stand tall, line up on the wall of freedom. Yeah, those dog tags and the crosshairs, they're always right there when you need them. You can bet their boots will hit the ground running every time it hits the fan. God knows my heroes don't wear capes. Me, it's not some country boy banging on a guitar. It's not a politician preaching or a movie star. And I'll tell you one thing that's a fact, sure ain't that quarterback. God knows my heroes don't wear capes. My heroes wear dog tags and they stand tall out up on the wall of freedom. Yeah, those dog tags in the crosshairs, they're always right there when you need them. You can bet their boots will hit the ground running every time it hits the fan. God knows my heroes don't wear capes. There's a star-spangled covered coffin, a little boy watching his mama cry. Remember, it's more than just beer and barbecue when those fireworks fly. My heroes wear dog tags. My heroes wear dog tags and they stand tall out up on the wall of freedom. Yeah, those dog tags in the crosshairs, they're always right there when you need them. You can bet their boots will hit the ground running every time it hits the fan. God knows my heroes don't wear capes. God knows my heroes don't wear capes. God knows my heroes don't wear capes. Growing up, I never cared too much for Superman. I guess he never could measure up next to my old man.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation. This concludes our 2024 Remembrance Day service. Thank you very much to everyone that helped for all of your performances and artwork at school.
Thank you to the staff of the Linden Alliance Church for the beautiful venue and all your help. We could not do it without you.
We hope that you take a moment on November the 11th to remember the Canadians who have served and continue to serve in the Army, Navy, and Air Force, and the families that have been left behind. Remember, freedom isn't free. Thank you.